back in the day. So
Right.
anything that I bought to resell on Amazon was selling. So the way I started was I started going to retail stores like Walmart, Target, stores like that, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, stores like that. And I used to buy products at those stores and
Right.
then resell on Amazon
Mm.
for a profit. So
Oh, okay,
that's
okay,
what I
okay.
started doing, which that's called retail arbitrage.
Right, right,
And when I
right,
got
right,
the
right.
hang of that, I started doing the same thing but online, which was online
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
arbitrage.
okay.
So buying at Target.com, Walmart.com, BigLots.com, stores like that, and reselling on Amazon for a profit.
Right. Instead of going to the store, you were just buying it online, but still like keeping it at your house and then listing it on your Amazon store and then
Exactly.
shipping it out. Okay, okay, okay.
Exactly.
But then you transition into online. All right, all right.
Yeah. So I transitioned to online, which it made my life much easier because I didn't have to the actual stores.
Right, right, right.
You know what I mean? All the driving, all of that. So that's what I started doing. You know, essentially it's simple, but there's a lot behind it.
Okay, okay.
There's a lot of softwares that I use to analyze if the product's selling well. There's a few methods that I use to buy. So
Right.
I took everything that I learned throughout those years and I started teaching. So
Okay.
now I teach people how to do that.
Right, right.
So I teach retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. So
Okay,
I
okay.
teach both methods.
Right, but that was after you started doing it yourself and you see the
Exactly.
success. So I was like, okay, let me now
Yes.
pass it on to other
Yes.
people. Okay, yeah, because I think that people got it confused too. They think, okay, it's just as simple as, setting up the store and then buying stuff and putting it up there. No, like you were mentioning, you have softwares to tells you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Statistics to tell you, okay, these products might do well. This is the profits that you can make, stuff like that. So can you share a little bit about like how of the process itself?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So it's like I said, it's simple in a way, but there's a lot behind it. So
Right.
the softwares were helping to analyze the product. It will show me if the product will sell on Amazon or not, if it's
Mm,
selling or if it's sold. It will show me the profit, if there's any
right.
profit.
Right.
It
Right.
also will help me analyze if the product will keep the same price or the price is gonna drop. So there's a whole analyzing system that I use on the product, because a lot of people that they starting out, they think they just can go to a store, buy any product and list on Amazon and it will sell. It's not true. There's a whole process that you gotta follow in order to make money.
Right. Right.
Because if you don't do it the right way, you will lose money.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will lose, right? Because then I guess like what Amazon charge you money for the store and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways. Not a few, actually, two different ways. It's FBA and FBM.
Right.
FBA is fulfillment by Amazon, and FBM is fulfillment by merchant.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, okay.
FBA meaning you buy the products, okay, you prep the products in your house, a garage, prep center, and you send it to Amazon.
Mm.
Amazon will store the products for you. When a sale happens, they will ship to the customer.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. That's FBA.
that's FBA.
Right, right, right.
Okay,
Okay.
which it will make your life much easier,
Right.
because FBM by merchant meaning you're the sales person, you hold the products. So a
Mm.
sale happens, you ship the product to the customer. Now,
Right.
if you have 100 sales in a day, you're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah, yeah.
packing 100 orders.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
that means getting the product from your shelf, putting it in a box, taping it, send it to the USPS or UPS, whatever you want to use. So imagine that 100 times a day. That's a lot of
Right.
work.
Yeah, that's
So
way too much
instead, what
work.
I do is I will buy in a bulk or whatever I buy. I will prep everything and send everything to Amazon. Because
Okay,
that
okay,
way
okay.
Amazon will handle everything.
You just gotta prep it, right?
You
And
gotta
like,
prep it.
and then just
Meaning prepping is put inside a poly bag or bubble wrap if it's
right.
glass, and putting a sticker.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Right, right. And then what would be like, because on this channel, what we basically do here, the goal with this is to help people, utilize the credit to invest,
Hmm.
right? Either on e-commerce, right, real estate, different investments, vehicles, right? So what would be like an estimate of the startup cost
Mhm.
for like everything, the whole process to that.
Right. So the startup cost, it's funny because a year ago it was completely different than nowadays. Everything went
Right.
up like crazy. So a year ago you couldn't even start with $500, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you'll be able to go somewhere within probably a year. Now $500 is nothing.
Right,
Are you able to start with 500 if that's all you have? Sure. But it's gonna take a long time to scale.
right, right, right,
I
right,
suggest if you're starting out to save up at least 15 to $2,000
right.
and use that money to buy the first load of products
Okay,
because
okay.
you will scale much faster versus using $500.
Right.
Now, when I started, I used about $500, but not because I wanted to scale at the time. I wanted to learn the process.
You're right, right, right.
So
Yes.
after learning the process, I started investing more money. But if you're looking to actually make money, I suggest at least 15 to $2,000.
Okay, and what's the so what about 2000? They can
Two
just
grand, you'll be
ready to
able to start,
start
yeah,
all this the
learn the
store.
process and all of that.
Got you, got you. Okay, what would be an estimate profits, net profit on the on products?
So let me rewind a little bit and tell you guys the methods there's on Amazon, right? Because a
Right,
lot of people they get confused, like, oh, I want to sell on Amazon, but they don't know how they want to sell. Because
right, right.
there's a few different methods. Okay, there's the most common one that people talk about all the time is drop ship. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I'll
drop
tell you
shipping.
right now, don't do drop ship on Amazon. You will get banned. I promise you that.
Oh,
Okay?
okay, okay.
Amazon is against drop shipping. Completely against
Mm,
drop shipping. Okay? So if you're looking to drop ship, Amazon is not it. There's other websites that will allow you to drop ship legally.
right.
So Amazon is not it. The other method is private label. Private label, you're buying a product that has no brand in it and putting your own brand and
Mm.
selling on Amazon
Okay, 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 okay.
as private label. I don't do private label. I never done it. It is a great method, but it's a lot more work. Okay. And
Because a lot of
now you're
labor.
not looking at 2 grand to get started. You're looking probably like at 10 grand to get started.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you're buying the products from China. So it is not worth you buying only a little bit and bringing it over here.
Right, right.
You know, and you put in your own brand. Now you got to invest money on PPC, advertising,
Mm.
and all of that. That's private label. Okay. The other methods that I already talked about is online arbitrage and retail arbitrage.
Right.
And the last method is wholesale.
Mm.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
wholesale, you're buying from a big distributor, you're buying in bulk
Right.
and selling. I do wholesale as well.
Oh, okay, okay. So you got, let me see, you got three methods. You got wholesale,
Hmm.
private label, and then drop shipping. So you say that drop shipping because I think that's like one of the most, right, common methods that people are right with
Drop
e-commerce.
shipping is the most common one, and it's pretty simple. Why? Because you're only buying a product whenever the sale happens.
Right.
So it is amazing because you're not technically sitting on products,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, the drop shipping, you only buy the product when they buy on Amazon. You go, you buy on the website and ship it to the customer directly.
Okay.
So the problem happens when you ship the product from, let's say, Target.com to the Amazon customer and they receive a Target box. And now they're
Yeah,
wondering
yeah.
why the hell they receive a Target box if they order from Amazon.
Right, 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 right.
So
That's
they
yeah,
complain
yeah.
to Amazon and blah, 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 and you get banned from Amazon. So
Okay,
that's the
that's
problem
what
with
the
drop
problem.
shipping,
Got you, got you, got you. Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
is a great method. I would love to do it, but I can't.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
Because you
wouldn't
don't
be,
have your product basically don't even go through your hands. It's just
no,
like
you don't
on
even see the
everything
product
online.
ever
Right, right, right.
because you'd be shipping directly to the customer. So the three methods that I use is retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and wholesale.
Right. It's okay.
And I teach retail and online arbitrage.
And
Why? Because retail and online arbitrage is what I recommend for beginners. Okay? Because with wholesale, what happens is amazing. I love wholesale because I can buy in bulk,
mm, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it's much easier.
Mm,
But in the same time, is if you buy in bulk for one product, and for some reason that product don't sell, you're losing that money.
right, right,
You can
right.
just return to the distributor.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay, okay, okay.
it's riskier. It's more rewarding, but riskier. So that's why I suggest retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, so you can learn the whole process and jump into another method later.
Right, right. That's like a good start, right? and the same based on those three different methods that you use, it will be like the same cost associated with that, right? Like the same about 2,000 each.
No, so actually that's a good question. So wholesale is a little more. Matter of fact, most distributors has a minimum of the what you can order, and most distributors is at least 2,500. Some will let you order 2,000, but most of them is at least 2,500 plus. The good
Got you.
distributors,
Okay, okay,
the
okay.
good ones, because there's some crappy ones that you're able to buy 100, two
Wholesale
hundred
is
dollars.
because it's more because you gotta buy more products, right, in order to do it.
Right. So wholesale you're buying in bulk. So you're
Right.
usually buying in pellets.
And do they require in Amazon like having a specific amount of products in order to use the store, or you can just even start with two?
You can send one product. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But the more you send, the cheaper will be for you to send.
Right, right, right. Oh,
Because
yeah, yeah,
remember,
yeah, 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 yeah.
you gotta pay the shipping to Amazon.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta pay the
You
shipping.
gotta
So
pay the
yeah, yeah.
shipping.
So the more, yeah, the more you do, more volume you do, the cheaper, right?
Exactly.
And then in terms of like profitability, profits, right?
Hmm.
What would be an
Right.
estimate on
So
products?
online arbitrage and retail arbitrage, I know it sounds weird. Most people they don't understand this, but online and retail arbitrage, the profits are usually higher than
Right.
wholesale.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so online and retail arbitrage, you're looking about 30% profit margin,
Okay, about 30%.
about 30%, 25 to 30. Wholesale about 15 to 25, around there. If you're doing 25% profit margin on wholesale, you're doing well.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
minimum of 15 wholesale is good.
So 15% return
Yes.
basically. Okay, okay.
So wholesale profit margin are slimmer, but in the same time you're doing less work
Right,
because
right, right,
remember
right, right.
now you're buying one SKU, one product, 200 units, 300 units of the product
Right,
versus retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. You gotta find multiple products
right.
because you're not gonna go to Walmart and find one product and buy 100 units of that product.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
find that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe if you get lucky, you got 15 units or even less.
So in your class, you teach all three methods,
No.
or
So
just?
I only teach I'm sorry, online and retail arbitrage.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
teach
okay.
wholesale.
Because well, but you say that that would be the best for beginners, right?
For beginners, online arbitrage and then retail arbitrage.
Right, right. So and everything, all of those products you can buy with credit, right? Let's say have credit cards, lines of credit, they can do it for that.
Yes. So even wholesale as well. 90% of distributors they accept credit cards.
Right, right,
And that's in the beginning for me, it was the biggest thing for me, right? I started with $500, $300 to learn the process, and after learning the process, I needed more funds.
right,
And to be quite frank, I didn't have anything
right,
besides credit cards at the time. So
right.
I used the credit cards to buy the products instead until I got, paid by Amazon and all of that. I was able to pay the credit cards and use my funds
Got you. Yeah,
to
because
rebuy the products. But in the beginning,
what's
I
like
did
the
use credit cards.
turnaround for Amazon to pay you? Because with credit card, usually
Yeah,
give you a 30 days to pay it back. So would 30 days be enough to get paid from Amazon? So that
no.
way you
So that's the thing, a lot of people they start with credit card, but some people they get screwed
right,
because they just sit on the credit card bills and they never pay it, just pay the minimum for a year or two,
yeah,
and they're paying the interest, right? So what I did is at the time I had the credit card that I was using, so it was a year with
with no interest
no
rate, right?
interest rate. So I had a year to pay that off. So um, because the problem is Amazon they pay every 2 weeks, but now
Okay,
remember you gotta wait for the sale to happen for them to pay you. So
right, right.
sometimes you won't see that money in a month or 2 months. So
Okay,
that's a
okay.
problem that you gotta be careful because you don't want to be paying interest
Right,
on
right,
the
right, right,
on the
right.
products that you're sitting on.
Yeah, yeah, because then it's biting your profits.
Exactly.
Right, right, right,
Exactly. So you
right.
gotta be very careful. Now, if you're using a credit card and expecting to pay the credit card back within 30 days, I would not do it
Right, right,
because you
right.
don't know how long you're gonna be sitting on that product for.
Right. No, and that's key that you say that because then I guess it would be for people that have access to, credit cards with no interest rate, which we teach that, how to get those
Hmm.
credit cards. So because you got to give yourself some flexibility in time,
No, you
right?
have
And
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 in case it
You
doesn't
gotta be
go that way.
realistic at the end of the day.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna buy this and the sale's gonna happen tomorrow. I'll get paid in 2 weeks.
And
Usually that's not the way it happens. It happens, but usually that's not the way it
yeah,
happens.
yeah. What's the most you have way to get paid from that?
It depends. So the way I do it, the software that I use is very accurate,
Right,
far as I know if the product is selling or not. So usually I don't sit on the product for too long, but I have waited a couple months to get paid on a product.
right. That's
But
the normal.
usually I buy products that moves quick. So
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not
okay.
sitting on any product.
Right.
It happens. You know, you can buy a product today and tomorrow the sales slows down. It happens. But usually I buy products where I can just get rid of it quick.
Right.
So I'm not sitting on.
And that's when coming into, I mean, knowing, right, the different softwares that
Hmm.
tells you, hey, this is the product, right? That's when education, guys, comes into place. If you don't know things, you just won't know, and not only you will make a bunch of mistakes, but you can, avoid those mistakes by working with somebody that already know what they're doing. So then let's say money wise, right? What's the estimate that somebody can make? Like you say, I want to start today, right?
Hmm.
Start today, sign up, right? Get my stores ready, get the products lined up. What's like the most somebody can get like in a year from one
So
store?
that all depends on how much you're willing
Yeah,
to
exactly. The
invest.
volume, definitely.
You know what I mean? Because if you have $50,000 to invest, it's gonna be very different than someone who's starting with $2,000.
Right.
The profit margin is still the same. If you start with 50,000 with 2,000, it's about 25 to 30% if you're doing online and retail arbitrage. You know what I mean? So if you invested $50,000, y- you're looking over
So
ten
you
thousand
can,
dollars in profit from that 50,000.
right.
So it really depends on how much you invest in.
Right. Yeah, it depend. Yeah, exactly. It depends on how much you're putting, and that 30% is based on right on the products you're selling, not like in a yearly basis, right?
It's based on the products you're selling.
Right.
But when I tell you 25%, 30%, that includes packaging, that includes shipping, that includes everything.
All the expenses that
Everything,
that will be,
all expenses, the softwares, everything.
which I think is, seeing it from an investment perspective, I think it's good because most investments out there they might pay you what 8%, 10%,
Hmm.
if the most by on the year. But if you say
Exactly.
this is by products,
Hmm.
so it's a difference. If you're selling a lot of products, then you can get like those percentage add up, right? And you can even get your money
Of
back.
course.
Like, what's the based on your experience and the students that you already have in your
Hmm.
class? How long it took them to like get their money back?
So I actually have one lady who she did the class with me early last year, 2023, right? Yeah, 2022. She did around February, March, or something like that. She actually started just like I did, doing part time, and
Right.
today she's full time. That's
Oh
what she does
wow.
full time. I don't know how much she's making. She didn't open her numbers with me,
Right.
but she's doing pretty well if she's doing full time.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you on how much effort you put in.
Right.
If you
Right.
want to
Right.
go full time or to be part time, because there's some people who start this and it's not for them. It's not for everybody. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Matter of fact, if you look it up on Google, most Amazon sellers that start up, they stop over
Wow.
50%. Why?
Wow.
Because people think that this is an easy money type of thing, and it's not. It's a lot of work,
Right.
but it's rewarding
Yeah.
because you're working for yourself, you're doing your own
And
thing,
you're working from
you're
home
working
too.
from home, but in the end of the day, it is a lot of work.
Right.
Um, and to be quite frank, 80% of the time that I use on the business is searching for products.
Right.
So most of the time you're in front of the computer looking for products. And for
That's
some people, they don't really like sitting behind the
right.
computer.
Just sitting there. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. No, for sure. So how how long it took to like get the money back for that student that you mentioned? Do you think she made it like within?
Less than a year, she got everything back.
Wow, which
What
is
she
good.
invested in less than a year.
Which is great. I
Yeah.
think if you definitely dedicate to it, there's money to be made because you know now most people actually just want away from home. You know what I mean? Just want to work from home because based on how the economy is changing and everything, right? People just like at least the most of the people I've been talking to,
Hmm.
they wanna just like, hey, I want something more convenient. I want that 9 to 5, driving the commute with traffic. So I think a lot of people might actually see this opportunity as a way to not just make extra money, but if they made real money, then they can
Hmm.
even like quit their job or whatever. So, what is some things that you had? Some of the challenges that you experienced when you started doing this?
I think it goes back to product hunting. The
Right,
biggest thing for me, the biggest challenge I ever had, besides the money part, because the money, you'll be able to find money somewhere to
right,
invest,
right.
right, with credit or however. The biggest thing for me was finding the products. In
Mm,
the beginning, it was very challenging, and that's where most people quit because they can't
right.
find profitable products.
Oh, okay, 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 okay,
So
okay.
that was the biggest challenge for me is finding the products, right? It's using the softwares, it's finding the softwares, it's learning how to use the proper software. And that was the biggest thing for me was just finding the right products. That's where I wanted to quit
Right, right.
because from 100 products that I look at, I will find one.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
had no experience, I didn't have the right softwares. Now I know better. And that's
Right.
where I teach people on how to source correctly so they don't
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through what
yeah.
I went through.
Right, 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 right.
So
You
the biggest
basically
challenge I ever had was finding the right products. 100%.
right, and that's the one of the best things of having a mentor, having somebody that walk you through the process because he shortened that learning curve, right? You don't have to go through all those things in order to like be successful on that particular area. So, and then when it comes to let me see actually if we got any questions here.
If you guys have any questions for me, please comment, comment, let
Yeah,
me
you
know.
can comment. This is also gonna be posted on social media.
Perfect.
So even if we don't have questions now on live,
They'll
what
probably
we're
ask
gonna
after.
have, yeah, they're probably gonna have after, and then reach out, send
Nice.
DM, stuff like that,
Cool.
wanting to learn more. So I think guys, this is something that it's a great opportunity for you to make some extra money, to even make it as a full time, let me see, full time job, right? By just selling things on Amazon. So besides of your challenges, right, Louis? You say it was finding the product. Give them a tip on how to, right? Like it would be one of the softwares, right? That would be
Mm-hmm.
ideal to that help you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like make it easier when it comes to that challenge right
Mm-hmm.
there of finding products.
So I will give you two softwares, which without these softwares will make your life very hard to find products.
Right,
The first one is Keepa, Keepa.
right.
Keepa is the biggest one. Keepa will give you the history of the product. It will let you know if the product was selling. It will let you know the price on the product and everything. Because that way, it will help you to source the product.
Okay,
Meaning, it's
okay.
like, okay, so it was selling last year around this time of the year. Very likely that it's going to be selling again
Yeah,
around
yeah,
this
yeah.
time this year. So Keepa will help you analyze the product. Okay.
Mm,
So that's the biggest one for me. Second one, it's Seller Amp. Okay. Seller
okay.
Amp, it's pretty much a calculator for Amazon, which will help you calculate the profit margin. It will help you also help you analyze, just like Keepa as a
Right.
little graph as well. It's an amazing tool that will make your life easier.
So it'll be Keepa and the other one is
Seller Amp.
Seller Amp. What's the most that let's say somebody start right? What's the most a product has been just like sitting on your store, right?
Hmm.
Like when in terms of time, okay, man, this product don't sell. Like what? How you handle that?
Yeah, so that actually happens, especially when you do wholesale,
Right, right. When you
because
have all those
yeah,
products, yeah, yeah.
exactly. So sometimes the product can be selling the whole year at a certain price. It's like, oh, it's amazing, selling amazing. Then you buy the products and you ship it to Amazon, it sells, but then you still have half of the product just sitting there.
Right.
So unfortunately, that happens. What we try to do is avoid that, but it happens. So when
Yeah.
that happens, is I lower the price until I get rid of the products.
Right, right. At least to just break even,
At
right?
least break even. There are products that I've lost money in it. It doesn't happen too often, but it happens. But I try to at least break even on that product.
Right, right. And that's why picking the right products, man. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's like you say, doing that research, and that's what you teach the people, right? How to do the right research so you can find
Exactly.
those products that are gonna make you money. All right, Louis, man. So what is some of the tips that you want to give them for the people that would like to like start this business?
So if you're starting out, you can reach out to me. I teach the whole thing from opening your account
Right.
to buying the products and selling. Um, or you can go on YouTube, look it up, online arbitrage. There's some videos there that which will help you as well. Um, if you're starting out, don't be lazy,
Right,
because
right,
if
right,
you're lazy, you will not succeed in this business,
right.
because it takes a lot of effort, especially if you're doing retail arbitrage,
Mm.
meaning you're going to the stores. Believe it or not, back in COVID days, I used to go to freaking Walmart at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, be there the whole day, just scanning, scanning, scanning,
Oh
scanning.
man.
I go to aisle to aisle, just scanning to find the right product. I used to spend hours there, and
When you mean
sometimes,
scanning, it's like to see if you can sell it
right.
for.
So the Amazon app, even Sell Amp, there's a
Right.
scanner that would tell
Okay.
you how much is selling for on Amazon.
Okay, okay,
You know,
okay, okay.
so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
will
yeah,
let me
yeah.
know if that product is profitable on Amazon or not.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I used to do that all day, every day for a while, and
Man, I
yeah,
didn't
I
know
did it
that.
for a while.
Yeah, that's work right there.
That is work. So a lot of people, they don't like doing that,
Right.
and they just want to do online arbitrage, which is the same thing, but you're in a
But just
computer. You're
online all day.
just doing the same thing, but Walmart.com instead of literally going to a retail store and scanning,
Right.
scanning, scanning.
What about if somebody already have like a physical store? Can they say, okay, now I want to sell what? Let's say they sell beauty products,
Hmm.
something, right? Okay, now I want to also put it on Amazon. Can they also? You can also help them with that as well.
What do you mean?
Like somebody, let's say somebody has like a beauty supply, right? And now they
They
want to
own the
sell,
store?
yeah, like they own the
Oh,
store, like a
okay.
physical store,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Retail, right? And then
Hmm.
now, okay, now I want to have obviously
I see
this,
what you're
but
saying.
also sell it online.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's actually very doable, and that's great because usually people who owns retail stores, they're able to get their products for cheaper
Mm.
because they're already working with distributors that's distributing to their store. So yeah, that's very doable as long as it's a branded product, meaning that product is already selling on Amazon.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Because if it's a product that doesn't have a brand, which like you mentioned beauty, a lot of
Right, 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 right,
salons,
right, right.
they buy products that has no brand or it's their own brand.
So I was about to ask you if it's your own brand,
No,
then
it's an
Amazon don't allow it. It
no.
has to be a well-known
Unless
brand.
you're doing private label, that's another method. That's completely different than what I do. Because
Oh, okay.
private label, now you're bringing your own brand, but now you got
Right,
to invest on advertising, PPC,
right,
and
right,
all
right,
of
right,
that.
right, right.
What I do
Okay,
is I
okay.
buy branded products.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Branded product.
products are already selling. I don't. I mean, you can list new products. Sure, you can. I don't. I don't do it. I buy products that's already selling.
Right. How you know then how many people are selling the product? Because it's
Keepa.
got you
Keepa
that
will
could
show me
help
how
your
many people are selling,
competitors.
how many people were selling before, if it was selling before,
Right, right.
why did it stop selling? So Keepa's like a huge graph.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that graph will tell me exactly what was happening with the product.
Right, man. I think yeah, telling you like there's a lot that goes into. I think it's
There's a
definitely
lot.
better. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
better do it with
there's
a
a lot.
mentor, somebody that just grab you by the hand and do it step by step. So where can people connect with you, Louis? So
So you guys can find me on Instagram, Luis Guarana, LuisGuarana. Or you can find me on my website as well, sellersdistrict.com.
perfect. And so that's what they can reach out to you for any information about your coaching, everything like that.
Yeah, you guys can DM me or go to my website. You can actually buy the course right on my website as well. But if you just have questions for now, just DM me. I'll be happy to answer your
Right.
questions.
I think so. Now we're coming to an end to this. What give them the people like some, I would say tips or words, whatever you want to call it, right? To just say people that are looking into, you know, start a successful e-commerce
Mhm.
business or get into Amazon. What would you leave them with?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's saying when it comes to the sourcing.
Right,
With
right,
my
right.
weakness, it was finding the product, and that was the biggest thing for me. It's probably for 90% of the people starting out, it's finding the products, and that's where most people give up. Is on the first
Yeah,
step.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's the first step? Finding the products, because without a product, you're not making any money.
You're not making any
So
money.
don't give up on the final product, because after you get the hang of the method, it becomes easy in a
Right,
sense.
right, right.
Now, I find products easily. Now it's just a matter of buying the products and shipping to Amazon, because finding the products is the biggest issue that people go through when starting the
Right.
business.
And basically, once you find those right products, the more you can buy of those, right? You can get a hang on those, the more money, right, that you can
Exactly.
make. So basically, it just depends on you. How much money you can make is determined by the amount you're willing to invest. Now, that's why we teach these things about having your credit right, using, your credit cards, either on the personal side or business side. If you do already have a business, you can get, lines of credit to start a new venture, or if you don't have a business, you can start a business. By the way, I forgot to ask you this. You also help them with structuring and
Hmm.
the business, like
Hmm.
register LLCs, corporations, if they don't have one yet, or
Yeah.
or they have to
So,
do it themselves.
for online and retail arbitrage, you don't need an LLC.
Oh, okay,
You
okay,
don't
okay,
need it.
okay, okay.
It's needed if you're doing wholesale or private label. Okay.
Right, right, right.
So online and retail arbitrage, to be quite frank, I don't even suggest you opening a business right away. Try it out first, see if it's for you, and then open your business.
There you go.
Because wholesale and private label, it's needed. You need it. But
Right.
online and retail arbitrage, you don't even need
You can just do it basically 1099, right? That's what
that
you have,
1099. Yeah, Amazon will
independent
give you
contract.
1099.
There you have it. So I even doing it like that, it will reduce your startup costs, because just registering LLC, at least here in the state of Mass, is like 500. So just by starting, like he was saying, starting out with with you with your social, and making some money that way, getting your money back and getting the hands on that, it would definitely be a great start. So, Louis, man, thank you, brother. Thank you for being
Thank
here,
you for
man.
having me.
It was an honor having you here. You break it down how you can make money online, opening an Amazon store. So, mi gente, ya saben, este episodio lo vamos a dejar aquí grabado con su subtítulo en español para que tú entiendas todo el conocimiento que se ofreció el día de hoy de cómo tú puedes hacer dinero digitalmente con una tienda de Amazon utilizando tu crédito, ¿ok? Espero que este episodio, este contenido lo haya bendecido. Los quiero bastante. Bendiciones. Nos vemos en el otro episodio.
Thank you, guys.